Good morning. I'm Peggy Kelly, and this is Good Morning Santa Paula. It's Thursday, August 20th, and as our guest today, we have Santa Paula City Manager Dan Singer, and we're going to be doing some catching up on what's going on in the fabulous city of Santa Paula. So I'm glad to see you, Dan. I'm glad to see anybody, actually, because
yeah.
we are seeing people now more and more, which is nice. So it is always a pleasure.
Glad to be here.
Yes, absolutely. So what's been going on? I know we've had a little encouraging few days with the COVID numbers.
We have, we're all seeing some positive signs. The countywide averages have been dropping for the better part of 2 weeks now. By way of example, we were at a kind of a moving average that was, I think, around 140 new cases a day, and that's now down just under 110. We need to get down to under 100 as one of the barometers for the state to take us off of that watch list that we're on. But we've seen some positive signs. Other counties like San Diego County have also recently been kind of taken off of the watch list, or at least are heading in that direction. So we might be able to watch those counties to see what services start to be lifted or accessible to the public. But we need people to keep doing what they're doing. Wear those masks. Don't go out unless you really need to. Keep your distance. I know there's a temptation to want to be around a lot of people and celebrate summer. And we just really encourage people to use common sense.
Absolutely. And I know they keep hand washing of this and gathering, it's just unfortunate that the larger the gathering you're at, especially if you're unprotected, as it were, the more chances you have that you might become infected or actually infect someone, because people don't always know they have the symptoms, But
right.
Now with the, of course, we've already had the restrictions lifted a little bit, a certain extent, so people could start going out and get some basic services and eat and drink and a few other fun things. And you were telling me that one of our city's favorite restaurants is reopened now over there on Mill Street.
Yeah, Enzo's over at the Glen Tavern Inn. I understand they have a new chef and a new menu, new wine list, and they're doing outdoor dining now. So really encouraging sign. We also had Anna's Cider on the edge of 8th Street and Main, and that has opened up. I think they're open from Thursday to Sunday, I believe. So these are really hard times financially for businesses, and it's just encouraging to see that there's still investment in our town, and people are doing what they can. So get out there and support them. With a face mask on.
And I was with Leo Bunnan this morning, and he purchased the dealership in Fillmore.
Yeah.
So he got the Santa Clara River Valley now blanketed with beautiful Chevrolets, new and used. So and it's encouraging. It's encouraging for Anna's. It's encouraging for all our downtown businesses that have been opening their doors and able to. I think maybe you should mention too that. We're lucky because we have shops that open directly to the outside.
Yes.
So that means they can be open and allow limited entry and, of course, social distancing and all the guidelines. Unlike the malls, where if you go to the malls, you can't go shop unless the store you visit has an opening to the outside.
That's right. Yeah, if you go to the mall and you're knocking on the door asking to be let in, you're going to be standing there a very long time. So,
yes, absolutely.
We're, I guess, lucky that we have smaller shops, and then by the same token, they need customers. So
absolutely,
it's still a difficult time out there.
Shout out. Yeah, they're open and ready to greet business, and that's good too. Now, and
we've also been. Well, go ahead. I was just going to say we've also been able to start to relax some of the standards out in our parks and with some of our sports. So as long as it's youth sports, and they follow certain rules, they're allowed to do practices and have, I think, up to 10 kids out. And so that's an encouraging sign. I understand there's some of the soccer and baseball groups that have come in and applied to be able to use that. So we're opening up Harding Park again, opening up some of our fields. We've opened the parking lots to a few of our parks. And we do still have the basketball areas closed. We're asking people not to play on the play structures, so those areas still remain closed. But otherwise,
people
it's
have more access to the parks in general, and we've got teams coming back. Oh,
yeah.
that's very good news. That really is. Now the city, speaking of the open air, as rotten as it's been lately, the city had a cooling center open, and I want to express my appreciation for that. And because we've been having a terrible heat wave, and then of course we were impacted a little with the smoke, not as bad as some other areas, but. So, do you have any idea of how many people access the cooling center? You know, people can't go to the movies anymore like they used to.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, and so many places they used to be able to go to, even the mall. And so I think it was great that the city did open a cooling center.
Yeah, I was really pleased. We made that decision on a moment's notice, but the team was able to pull it together. I don't think we had anyone the first day. We've since gotten the word out, and we'll be open through Friday, and then we'll see how things look for next week. But it's just an important service, especially for seniors or those that just don't have air conditioning and they just need a place to rest and grab some water, close their eyes, whatnot. Our community center is so large that we can safely have a number of people in there, socially distanced, give them a table and a place to sit down. And we have some restrooms, and so we're happy to provide that service.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. Well, I'm glad to see, because it's so important for everybody during these types of weather events to watch out for each other too. So, and I'm very happy that the city stepped forward on that. Now, street work, we've been seeing street work, so we've got more coming up, I believe.
We're not done.
We're not
done. Final push that'll start next week, the last week of August, and continue through September. And we're going to be working on some of the larger segments of town that have experienced, really poor conditions. One of those will be the upper part of Peck Road as it approaches Foothill, Telegraph Road, which is what we call Harvard Boulevard, but west of Peck. So it'll be from the city limits. It's really a mess from the city limits all the way to Peck Road. That's all going to get worked on. Then the part of Harvard that's on the east end of town, out towards Harding Park and where it widens up there, we're going to be working on that segment. A couple of other smaller segments, including Laurie Lane. We've gotten lots of comments about the conditions there, and on Ojai Road, not the highway, but the small segment above Main Street, just east of 10th Street or 12th Street. So there, and then there's a few other small segments, but those are really some heavily needed improvements. We continue to get a lot of positive feedback, and of course that's always appreciated, as well as a number of people that are saying, why aren't you doing Virginia Terrace? Why aren't you doing Park Road? Why aren't why aren't you doing Pleasant Street? Because it's not pleasant. So, we fully understand those comments and we appreciate the input. We're well aware of the conditions, the poor conditions of some of those segments. We obviously can't do them all at once. And so what we have focused on this year is really trying to freeze time. And what I mean by that is we're taking the streets that are in moderate to good shape and doing some minor improvements to prolong their life. And then starting with the next year and 2 and 3, we'll be investing more heavily in some of those really poor segments.
Right, where you have to do the rebuilding.
You do, and the cost is astronomical when compared to something as simple as a microsurface or a slurry seal. So
what do they say to, and correct me if I'm wrong, what did they say it cost approximately $1 million a mile to do just surface street?
That's right.
To completely rebuild it, go down to the dirt and completely rebuild it, it's $1 million a mile.
That's right. That's right. And
Wow.
we only have about 1.5 million a year we're able to put
Yeah.
towards,
Wow.
and we have like 55 road miles,
Mhm.
50,
Yeah.
at least 55 road miles throughout
Mhm.
town. So you can imagine it would take, 50 years to get that done, or
Yeah.
somewhere absurd like that. So
Yes.
just, so my word to the public is, thank you for your patience. Keep the faith. Our engineers are really trying to crack this nut and put together a program that's going to work now and that we can keep up with. But we have a lot of making up to do. So
Mhm.
it's not all going to happen at once.
Yes, absolutely. Now, are they going to be sending out some notices on what streets? Because I know it sounds like there's going to be some major disruptions.
Yes, press releases
Mhm.
going out. I think there'll be something in the Mighty Santa Paula Times,
Okay,
and
great.
we'll be getting the word out on all of our social media outlets as well.
Now, do you know offhand if, like on Telegraph, as it were, do you know offhand if it basically they're going to have like one? I think it's 2 lanes in each. I'm trying to think of how that was configured.
On Telegraph, it's just 1 lane in each direction,
1 lane.
and then it opens up
So then they'll be able to maybe do 1 lane at a time and maybe have them, do traffic control.
do traffic
Is that
control.
what they have planned?
I don't know what the specific plans are. I know that we've not had to close streets entirely,
Okay.
except smaller side streets,
Mhm.
and we're trying to minimize the nuisance.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Dan? Let's talk about that wonderful campaign box you're going to have. Excuse me, that ballot box.
Yeah.
You're going to have at City Hall. So I can't emphasize that enough. So tell me, I'm going to have you go outside and take a photo of it and send it to me.
Absolutely.
We'll start publicizing that. But
should I grab my computer right now and try and take it with me? That won't work. But yeah, so the county elections office has installed a large ballot box. It's anchored in front of City Hall, tamper-proof. It's lit, safe, and available for the public to drop off their ballots. So you don't have to put them in the mail if you want to use that as an option. I don't yet know how many precincts are going to be open as we approach Election Day, but I do know that they are making arrangements to have some locations open, and we're in some very preliminary discussions about what else we can do to help support our community in making voting convenient. So maybe, still yet to come, some announcements later in September or October about some things we'll be trying to roll out to help with that. Meanwhile, we're on the final countdown of the census, and it's so important that our residents that are living here make sure to fill out that census so that we get everyone counted.
And it only takes a minute. It really does. I was surprised at how short it was. And it really does. It only takes a minute. And there's so many different ways you can do it now, too. So that's wonderful. That's great. Is there anything else that we should know, or better yet, not know, that you would like to tell?
Obviously it's scary to see these large fires that have been all around us. Just, be mindful that we're heading into that dry, hot, windy season. And, if you see any activity going on, please call 911. Kids are out playing with matches, or people are having, campfires in our river bottoms. Please report those things. We want to do what we can to prevent any fires this season.
Yes, I know we just had a fire yesterday that, thank goodness, the Ventura County Fire Department did a great job in jumping right on that. And I know
luckily, and they had helicopters on it and everything, but with these larger events in our region, sometimes those resources get scarce. So
yes, especially, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, well, listen, Dan, I appreciate it as always. It's always great to see you and get updates about the city. And please have a wonderful weekend and stay safe. And everybody out there, I'm once again Peggy Kelly, and this is Good Morning Santa Paula. If you'd like to watch it again and again and again, you can go to Channel 10. The city runs these on a regular basis, plus the fact that's cable channel 10, Spectrum Cable Channel 10. You can go to kadytv.net and be sure to like it. If you're on YouTube, that's kadytv.net. And Santa Paula's our community, and this is our way to help you keep up with it. Any ideas, be sure to let us know, and we'd love to talk to you. And always great talking to you, Dan, and thank you.
You too, Peggy. Have a great weekend.
You too.